Well, it's the holiday season, and I hope you brought your buddies. Your McNugget buddies, that is. Hello, ho, ho, and welcome to another video brought to you by Wax Nostalgic Network. In case you couldn't tell from my hilarious intro, this is a holiday video. We will be diving back to 1997 to talk about high-end collectibles that McDonald's released called McMemories. And specifically, this McMemories set was to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the McNugget. Now, if you know me, you know that I absolutely adore the McNugget buddies and have ever since I was a kid. The 90s Halloween series came out at just the right time, and I had all of them. Now, this was released in 1997, and the series was called Santa and His Merry McNugget Buddies. So this series is a collection of higher end McNugget buddies. They're not the plastic ones that we had in the 90s and 80s. They are a more like porcelain, or I don't know if porcelain's the right word. I'm really bad at knowing this type of thing, but it's like a resin. I don't know, but they're much more fragile than the actual McNugget buddies were, and as such, I don't think a lot of them survived over the years. So whenever I was at a local toy show and I found an almost complete set of these, I had to get them. So with no further ado, let's just jump to the review, and I'll see you guys in just a few. Okay, so these 1997 McMemories McNugget buddies are modeled after Santa and his reindeer, and we're just going to go through them in the order that Arnold recites them as he's on his way to the radio station in Jingle All the Way.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. I'm having a good time. Bye.
So first up, we have Dasher. And I love that Dasher is wearing like running gear, essentially. He's got a headband on, he's got a stopwatch, he's got a number one, whatever you call those. You can tell I'm not a runner. And then he's got sort of a toga on, which I think is a nice touch. And so that is Dasher. Next up, we have Dancer, who is very much the dancer of the bunch. He's got his top hat and his bow tie, and he's dressed to the nines. He's got his dancing cane, and I love that his antlers are popping out of the top of the hat. And all in all, I think this is just a really nice looking McNugget buddy. Next up, we have our first female McNugget buddy. We have Vixen, and she looks lovely with her sort of tied around ascot and her hat and a little holly leaf. And I love, once again, that her antlers are just coming out of the top of the hat. All around, a very cute McNugget. It's a sentence I never thought I'd say. We have next up Prancer, and she is the ballerina of the bunch. I guess you could call her a ballerina. She's also sort of a princess, but she's got a dress on, and she's got her little crown or tiara up top, and I think she looks really nice. Next up, we have, I think, my favorite of the bunch, and that's Comet. And Comet is as fast as a shooting star, as you can tell. He's got his helmet and his goggles. He's got jetpacks on the side, and like it wraps all the way around to a jetpack on his back. And I love the amount of detail in this figure. Like, I think he looks really good. I like that his eyes are sort of popping out in a 3D effect. I also love that his antlers are laid back to imply that he's going super fast towards the camera, or wherever he's going, I guess to your house to deliver presents. And yeah, this is probably my favorite of the bunch. Next up, we have the McNugget of Love. We have Cupid. And Cupid looks cute with his little hat and his antlers poking out of it. He's got his bow and his arrow, and he's ready to make some McNuggets fall in love. All right, now we have Donner. And with a name like Donner, there's nothing that's super obvious in terms of his styling, so I love that they just gave him sort of a nice Christmassy look. He's got his big heavy scarf on, and his earmuffs, and his little toboggan or beanie, depending on how you choose to live your life. And I love that his eyes are looking up as opposed to the others, or, I mean, they're all kind of looking in different directions. And I think that that sort of adds to the appeal of these, which was also part of the appeal of the Happy Meal toys. So Donner looks great. Big fan of his design overall, and nothing feels more festive in this set than him to me. All right, and lastly, of Santa's reindeer, we have Blitzen, who is wearing a tie, a necktie, and he's got a kazoo, not a kazoo, but a like a party horn and a wreath around his head with a packaging bow that says his name on it. And I don't quite understand his theming. Maybe I'm missing something obvious. Maybe it's something more subtle. But I do feel the Christmas spirit just looking at it. And that concludes all of the reindeer. So now we have Dasher, we have Dancer, we have Prancer and Vixen, we have Comet and Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. I did that backwards. But do you recall the most famous McNugget buddy of all? Well, it's not Rudolph because they didn't include him. However, this wouldn't be a complete set without a box. The McMemories, the official McDonald Collectibles Club Merry McNugget Buddies box, which flips out to form a sleigh. And I love that inside of it you see toys and a map so Santa doesn't get lost. You can also see how the reins wrap around to that. And we're going to sort of reshuffle this just a little bit here so that you can see everything in all of its glory. Okay, so now we have all of the reindeer lined up, and we've got a sleigh back there, but you can't have Santa's sleigh without the big guy himself. So this is our Santa Claus that comes with the set, and I have to say I love the detailing on his hat and on his beard, and I love how the red and black just sort of pop against the white of his beard, eyes, and hat, and then the red also just adds a really nice look to it. This is such a highly detailed figure, and honestly, you know, probably the reason that they did it in this, you know, higher end material, because I don't think you could quite nail this in the cheaper plastics of the kids' meal toys. As much as I love them, these are definitely higher end. So Santa sits in his little McNugget tray / sled, and you know, it still looks a little empty, so I think Santa's gonna need some toys to hand out. This is one of the last pieces in this set, but I think it's just a nice little bonus, and it fits very nicely in the back of his sleigh. So that's almost it, except there's one piece missing, and that's your chimney. So this is just a fun little piece that you can set alongside the reindeer that encourage them to land here. And you can see it's hollow, and it's just a fun little extra bonus piece for this really fun set. I also wanted to note that there is little holes that you can run string through that connect back to the sleigh to sort of serve as the reins. They're on the left-hand side of all of these guys, and then on the right-hand side of all of these guys. And then they connect to Santa, who can hold the right one, or the left one, depending on how you're looking at this, in his hand, and sort of guide them on their way to your chimney. So that is all 12 of Santa and his Merry McNugget buddies. And I think these are really cool, like just a nice little collectible to have. And I do believe that there was another set of McNugget Buddy Christmas themed characters that were released through the McMemories line, but these are expensive. Like if you get them in the original styrofoam packaging and you have all the pieces, which mine is almost complete, it's just missing the COA, the original packaging, and the reins for Santa to wrap through his McNugget Buddies loops. But if it were complete, you know, this thing can go for upwards of you know, hundreds. I've seen it listed for thousands. I doubt it sold for thousands, but who knows? Who am I to say? But considering it's an almost complete set and all the individual characters are there themselves, I'm pretty happy with the price that I paid for it, because I know the guy who was selling them. He cut me a good deal, and now it's given me the opportunity to make this video and show you guys this kind of forgotten piece of McNugget buddy history. So that's going to conclude this video. I'll be back with more December themed, or I guess I should say more Christmas themed stuff throughout the month of December. And yeah, did you have these? Do you remember these? Do you have any other McMemory collectibles that you recall or loved? If so, leave a comment in the chat down below and let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to stay nostalgic. Later, guys.